So picture like a ship. And there's like the thingy to look out, like the scouting point, 22. There's the driver. Oh my god. Okay. And there's like the crew, the squad. And oh god. Okay. And so the scout is up there, right? 55. The scout is up there. And all the crew, they're all down there talking about sucking titties, okay? To make it even worse, the titties that they are talking about sucking are the scouts. So they're on this fucking ship. They're objectifying the scout. And so now there's a storm. There's a storm, there's a flood, there's a tsunami, all of it. All the natural disasters at once. Right? And they're like, scout, scout, like, which way's the best? Which way's the best? 2, 2, 2. Scout, which way's the best? Which way's the best? And they thought that the scout didn't know what the fuck was up. But now that they actually need the scouting, she's just up there pole dancing. 244. She's just pole dancing up there. She is not scouting for them. Well, she kind of is, but she's having lots of fun with it. So it's taking a little bit longer than necessary. And and they are getting absolutely swamped. They're getting absolutely swamped down there. And she is pretending that she's a flag. They're they're gonna make it to safety though. They're gonna be okay. Letter. Is one good or do I want 3? Get the fuck out of here. Is 2 good or do I want 3? I don't know. I'm pretty content with 2. 3. That's goodbye. I just got an idea. I just got an idea. Oh. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Excuse me. I need to keep these covered because people don't know how to fucking act. Ew! 448. Justice. Everybody say hi to Justice. Letter Mountain Tsunami. The doubloons, me boy. The doubloons. How do I say this? There was a call of injustice in a place of justice. For me, quite literally, I wrote a letter to a judge. And with the mountain and the tsunami card, tsunami maybe representing more emotional, mountain maybe representing more physical or structurally. There's a lot of movement. It was very powerful. And for this letter, like it's supposed to be like written in the sand. Oh. Just because you don't receive the results you want at whatever timing, at the time that you're like reflecting on it, or it's coming about, or other people are inquiring about it, just because you're not getting the results that you want at that time, 5 of Swords, Page of Coins, it doesn't mean that the impact wasn't the desired impact. 10 of Swords. Four of Cups. Okay, this 10 of Swords, 4 of Cups. I mean, did I just say 10 of Cups? 4 of Cups, 10 of Sword energy is like a did I fuck up energy. Did I lead myself astray? But the real betrayal, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, there's 9 swords at the top, and then there's this one at the bottom here. So all of these swords up here, yada yada. But this one sword right here, like really super behind the back, so that would be doubting your ability, doubting your power, like doubting your presence, being unsure of who you are, that just because you didn't get the desired result, that the impact would never, the proper impact would never take place. That if you can get like one hook into it, no matter how far away the other point is, you can, it's like like it connects them. Okay, so this is healing. Healing like that pointless energy. Like, oh, this is pointless. Oh, this is a waste of time. Oh, no sense. No sense. Talk to them. Oh, it's like talking to one wall. What? You is one wall. Like that type of energy. And you'll see this connect in a healthy way, because typically younger people, like way younger people, like children, right? They'll ask you a question over and over and over again. And to you, it's the same question in different verbiages, in different ways. I don't know. But to them, it is a different question at that time. It's like being able to take those pieces, being able to see what is congruent for themselves through your example. And so when you speak or teach or are confident within yourself and know who you are, and just teach from that leveled standpoint, the patience actually does pay off. Because if you wouldn't put pressure on someone younger in that way, why would you do it to like an adult, right? Like, and oftentimes you can see this pattern where the adults that do this, or that you want to do this too, if you look through their history, you'll find that nobody had the patience for it, right? So they were never able to put all of those cups together. They were just kind of left floating in the air, floating around. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Did I try to cover it? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Oh, the bridge of the nose. The bridge of the nose, the lips, the décolleté, and like the base of the neck, which is also possibly, is that the C4, C5? Kind of. It's a little lower, I guess. So maybe in the back it's like C4, C5-ish. But that is taking in or pushing out a lot of energy at this time, potentially. Oh my god. I don't have beef with all birds, by the way, just mostly the ones by my house. Interesting. It's giving it's giving T-posing on the haters ass energy right now. Well, 1555. Of course. Of course. What else? Tree. It actually came out. That was one of the cards that was peeking out. Heart. I always get hungry. I always get hungry after, like, really big, like, with the tsunami energy. I always get hungry after I clear that out. Okay, we're gonna do a message for the people who have lost someone recently, or like multiple people recently, like one after the other. Clover, okay. Luck, flourishing, yellow flowers, emotions, coverage. Clover, the moon, and justice. The support system you have is a very powerful one. Ooh. Six of Swords, Ace of Coins. So the people around you, they're not pitying you, but they're like, oh, nah, fuck that shit. Like, how can we help? And that's really awesome and really beautiful. Three of Wands. The Lovers and the Two of Swords. And the Nine of Cups at the bottom. 1 second. Okay. Three of Wands, the Lovers, Two of Swords. This is very multidimensional, but we'll start off with your children. I don't care what age they are. If they do not want to hug or horny, I'm going to die. I'm gonna die right here, right now. 33. Hug or horny someone. I can't. I can't. I want to die. There's no fucking way. There is, because it's multidimensional. And this the Lover's card talks about like healthy sexual stuff. In this moment though, we're talking about children. So, but that's connected, 111, but I normally try not to overpoint that out too much because people hear about that and they either get really fucking angry or really fucking scared, or it triggers a release. And if there's people angry and scared around the person having the release, yeah. So, if your child does not want to hug or honey, like kiss somebody, do not make them do that. Don't do that. It's not that, oh, they're always in danger of like oh, weird, freaky stuff. Like, no, sometimes people carry an energy, especially like the older they get, the more powerful the energy can get. But meeting it with this very pure energy, for the most part, can be an energy transfer they aren't ready for. Maybe the child is holding a pure energy that, you know, can still be physical or manifested in the sense of like anger or just feeling grumpy or tired and not wanting to talk as much anymore, not wanting to this, not wanting that, which is a normal reaction when you become tired or when you're upset. You don't always want to be touched or touching other people. When you are, the younger you are, the easier it is to create these healthy habits of healthy touch, healthy boundaries. And you can also teach about timing, chance, luck, those kinds of things, and that sometimes, you know, you do never see people again and it is worth to give the hug sometimes, right? And how to read that within yourself as an adult. How do you decide when you're going to give a hug and when you're not going to give a hug? Are you just always giving a hug no matter what? And if so, why, right? And looking at all those different, like this side, that side, and the in-betweens, like the balancing of the all, right? Like there's going to be people in every single category. And if you can understand your part, it will help make more sense of others' parts and how all those parts work as a whole. And if you would like to make any changes, that is helpful in making the changes. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands so much right now, but 4:38, we'll just keep going. Okay. In the sense of letting go because of transcendence, like actual death, leaving this earth, this realm, for the most part, clinging on to what you had or what was too much, or feeling like you can't let go, or having something like an empire or multiple empires to watch over afterwards, may lead you to want to be wanting to distract yourself sometimes. But it'll be up to you to kind of follow your intuition, your discernment, your body, na'au, your abilities, whatever, your spirit team, your higher powers, on where to go, when to go, and to take away, to take time to yourself, what to give away, what to release, and how to do so. That not everything has to be pushed forward and moved through so quickly, but to remember to balance it with the here, now, future. So if it's like past to present and like present to future, like really being able to hit that intersection 626, and not using sex as a fucking distraction for grief. However that grief may be. Because branching on to the next one, where you're in a relationship or you have a connection that you're holding on to, that it needs to be just the way it was. This is exactly how it needs to be, forever, forever, untouchable, timeless. But that can keep you roped in and distracted from finding a type of love that actually frees you rather than makes you feel like you have this responsibility. And not letting your support system, your, like, if you have a number one, like, go to, not overloading them is kind of not the term I want to use, because if they're your number one go to, they're probably very tough or like very strong and powerful. But to see the altruism, the humanity in that, and being able to spread it in multiple directions to other people who also may be feeling or going through or expressing the same things that you are in their own way. And when you have healthy boundaries, healthy communication, healthy touch, all of that stuff, you can actually come together. And that void of moving forward becomes filled with that same intensity and level of love as it came from the other person who was just lost. 929 being that you do not have to degrade someone or hate someone or focus on the negative qualities in order to move forward, as people tend to often do for like quickness, efficiency. I can efficiently cut you off. I can efficiently cut you off and make it look like it's nothing. Yeah, a lot of people can. A lot of people can. 9 of Cups. But if you look at cutting people off as a form of death, and you just look at all of the deaths that you've faced in your life, including the death of your own fears or whatever, it gives you information and it tells you a story. Knight of Coins. There's a story. Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups, I think. How am I supposed to... There's no way. The Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups. There's no way. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. The Queen of Cups. I fucking love that card. That's one of my favorite cards in the deck. 10 of Cups. Oh, I get it. King of Wands, Temperance, and the Star. This is the story. It's like, oh, I have a story of the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups. And then the whole story is like coming out in between the two. Page of Cups. That's fucking hilarious, dude. The High Priestess, the 8 of Cups, the Knight of Cups. Five of Swords. Wow, that bug is coming up a lot. Okay. This Five of Swords is coming up a lot. Plus that other spread. because like this in the background, they're like focusing on their like relationship and making things good, but he's like doing all this work over here and he's like, hello, what the fuck? So just keeping that in your mind of like not trying to say, oh, don't fix things with certain people, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, yeah, because if something's going on that needs immediate attention in a certain connection and then the person goes, well, but blah blah, like, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of like prioritization or whatever. It's like, it's different if every single time everybody else is getting prioritized, but if there are certain times in which things do need a more urgent response. 12:55. People shouldn't be giving you shit for that or grief for that, and if they are, they just miss you. But then you can work with that, and with the Knight of Cups you can work with that and then like plan something for the future, build something for the future, just give them a little reassurance when you have the time and capacity. King of Wands. The Star, Ten of Cups. And in this time too, like if people genuinely are upset with you, it gives them time to like reflect and adapt on if they want to spend more time with you, like how they could like how could they add more to your life, like not even in the sense of like doing more or being more, but just like being there unobjectively and unconditionally, freely, because they want to, because they love to, not because they feel like they have to, and not using the responsibility of having to as an excuse to hide behind why they are not enjoying themselves with you. So to say that the blame can't be put on the individuals at this point. It's being reflected externally, which creates space for coming together and bringing back the point. Three of Cups, to just make sure like whatever your favorite connections are, or your closest connections are, or your nearest connections are, not to let like, oh, if they want to hang out with me, they would have reached out to me if they want, because that could also be true for you. So just remember to like, it's not weird to like just reach out and check up on each other. I don't know, throughout the years, somehow, some way, checking up on each other and caring for each other in a truthful way, in a platonic way, got fucked up somehow because of all the rape and pedophilia infiltrating the teaching methods in a certain way, and it not being corrected as massively or as deeply as it needed to be. So this generation presently is like removing any unhealthy sex expectations, which is causing for more clarity and freedom in their connections and relationships in which they do not be fucking, which should be probably majority of the connections in your life, unless it is your job to do that, in which I would give you possibly, potentially different advice. at that point. This is really cool right now, but I don't know how to explain what I'm experiencing. The Moon and the Four of Wands. Okay, emotions being angry, scared, all of those things, like, they're not weaknesses. Like, it's okay to be scared. 1738, it's okay to have anxiety, it's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel depressed or slower or this or that, but remember the weight of those labels, and that there's okay, because we're looking at the external and everything together as a whole. If it's like oppression that is causing you to be depressed, which means that you may or may not be able to change the things that are making you depressed, so you may have to go internal and do some hardware stuff and renovations, whatever. but what was I gonna say? I hate when that happened. I hate when this happens. 1838. If you were to know, okay, that things move in phases, and you move in phases, and you're a reflection of everything, and everything is a reflection of you, and no, then no matter the duration, it is temporary. And so, what little things bring you joy in that time period? No matter what. When you're happy, when you're sad, when you're mad, when you're scared, when you're anxious, when you're this, when you're that. Like, learning yourself within all of your emotions and what you like when. If there's like a, a one for all, an all for one, where it's like, is there one thing that will balance you out or co-regulate you or whatever, no matter what you are feeling? And how can you do that, like, on your own, if that makes sense? And then make sure you can do it, or like make sure you have found a way in which you can do it on your own, and you can like prove that to yourself and solidify that, and it'll be like memory within your body and your soul by doing it. And then you can go back to whatever you feel like doing. And that's this, the Moon, Four of Swords, or what the fuck, Six of Swords, Four of Wands, and Justice energy. That's so interesting. Four of Swords. Four of Swords. Okay. So if the swords and the wands are interchangeable, and the Four of Wands, which just being able to branch off, like literally. But the Four of Swords would be to like lay low, to like rest, to like recuperate. Then the Six of Wands, that's so fucking funny. Who? Which one of you has been going through the wards? Just kidding. Not really, actually, but I don't mean it a certain way. Six of Swords would also be Six of Wands, which would also kind of be like the forward movement. which would possibly, arguably, be more forward movement in Six of Wands than the Four of Wands. But that's really fucking interesting that I just took all four of those cards and combined them all together to make them make sense like that. All through a mistake. 2, 2, 2, 2. Of what I said. Fuck. I'm seriously probably gonna have to edit out that other part that I fucking... Is this whole deck gonna come out? Did the Knight of Cups already come out? And I'm still going. So it wasn't the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups. It was the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Swords. But it threw me off. Because I know that's technically not a sword. That's like a jousting thing. But this is the Knight of Coins. And the Knight of Cups came out, right? And I didn't even bat an eye. Or was that earlier, or yesterday, or the day before? No, it did. The Knight of Cups. Girl, I don't even know what I'm looking for. I love it. It's fine. I don't even know what I'm looking for, but I know exactly what the fuck I'm looking for. The Magician and the Six of Coins. Okay. Queen of Swords, Five of Coins, and Strength. Okay, so like when things kind of like start looking up and feeling stable and all that stuff, like it might be really fucking exciting to just like sprint off and go start doing all these fucking things. Queen of Swords, Five of Coins, the Magician, Six of Coins, Strength. But to remain in that energy in which you got there, not that it's not ever supposed to change, but for the time being of the transitionary period, like letting those energies settle before you just like taking time to like look around, see what's up, you know, identify potential dangers before moving forward. The Hierophant. Like being able to stay still, but also, you know, acclimate to the environment that you're moving towards. The things, identify what is known and what is unknown at the beginning of the journey. And then it'll change by the end, but hey, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. Because this card isn't all bad either. It can talk about like bringing in... bringing in like gifts and miracles and like opportunities in a way that you didn't expect. Like the reason this tree has this fool up in her boobs is because the fool up in her boobs, that is so fucking LMFAO. I only put that together now. The fool all up in her boobs is the one that did like the magic to turn the tree like... like, I don't know if conscious is the right word, but definitely like humanistic, like... So he did it, he did something, you know? And the way that the tree took it whatever way, but like he was tripping. His deal was that he tripping, he not a real healer, whatever. And then he turned this tree into boobs, and you know, it definitely proved something to him. But he did have to figure out how to learn, and he did have to figure out how to turn the tree back, because if the tree wasn't so overly forceful, he wouldn't have had a reason to change it back either. So this caused him to learn how to do it and undo it. Ace of Wands and the Tower. The Nine of Swords. The Seven of Swords. The Ace of Coins. Three of Coins. The Fool. Six of Cups. The World. Okay, so support team is adjusting, removing dialect or ideology that is not, that is forceful, truthfully. Ace of Wands, the Tower. It's like shocking. It's like shocking to people who have been oppressed and controlled and abused and manipulated their entire lives, infiltrated by things that are larger than them, for them to believe that, you know, that they have their own powers, that they're able to have their own relationships with the divine, with God, with other people, with literally anybody that they can put their mind or heart to. It is like absolutely shocking to them. Nine of Swords, Seven of Swords. Absolutely terrifying, absolutely groundbreaking, because there's just so much more possibilities. It truly is limitless. And so sometimes the anxiety doesn't settle until you review all the options. Three of Coins. And at this point where you have more options available to you and you feel differently about certain things than you did before because of the experiences that you've had, Seven of Coins, it can make you question if you made the right decisions along the way, if you made the right choices along the way. Whew. And then Ten of Wands, that with the load that you had to carry, with the amount of things that you had to consider, with like all of the pressure, all of the circumstance, all of the detail, all of the attention, finances, the risk involved with all of it, you can feel proud. Ooh, King of Cups. That like you did the right thing at the right times. And that just because someone else is creating something that you like better than what you did doesn't mean that what you did was for nothing. The Chariot. And if you know you love something all the time, but there are times where you like it more and then like it less, it's like that is that grounding factor in which, like, yeah, okay, you'll come back into yourself, but you always consulted yourself on the toughest decisions. Or you always consulted this specific person or specific people for all of these things. And now like branching off, like this can be for independent people and dependent people, like it does not matter. 3211, it is a privilege to be able to choose whether you would like to be more on the independent leaning side or more on the dependent leaning side, because it's not always a choice. 3225, and knowing that, incorporating that, and understanding that is like where you came from. Judgment, when you call judgment and accountability on yourself, you always have to remember where you came from. Where was your original starting point? What was your original intention? Or if you're doing it in fragments, it would be the most recent, intention or whatever of that all. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and hold the fuck on. So the Nine of Wands and the Lovers came out, and I didn't want to talk about that, and I wanted to take a break because I was recording for 33 minutes straight. Look at what it's the bottom. Look at the bottom deck. The deck at the bottom. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Swords. So we're just gonna casually be doing a full deck reading. That's fine. That's honestly fine. That's totally fine. Okay. There's no fucking way. That's so fucking cool. The Knight of Coins came out first, and then now the Knight of Swords is at the bottom, and I thought it was the fucking Knight of Cups. That's fucking incredible. It may not come out in that order now, but okay. I know what to say. Nine of Wands and the Lovers. It's like if you don't buckle up your panties, if you don't buckle up your chonies, and you're watching someone get abused, helping them turn the situation around or get out of the situation, it depends on the circumstances, it can get really frustrating. When the people who got, okay, yeah, so this is like a double-sided energy, because some people got caught doing these things, and now it's like calling for accountability within the community, their community specifically, not like putting them on blast for everyone to throw hate at them, which isn't helpful either, but to be loved back to life, to try and actually get some understanding, because the people who love you are genuinely usually just curious and playful because they feel safe with you. And if they don't feel safe with you, the questions might feel a little bit more vindictive, but it's two-sided. And that if that's not really clicking for you, potentially the abuse survival guide, is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's called, but where you look at it victim, abuser, and then victims versus like internal, external, like systems, people, like different little forms of life, all that stuff. That might be good for you to watch. Ooh, oh my god. So normally I'm like, oh, internal, external, but the King of Swords, if okay, this King of Swords energy talks about, okay, so if you want to read it like the way that I usually read it, it would be that the King of Swords energy is that you're facing your fears and fighting your demons and making your foes your friends and whatever. And then so the people around you can be in this Empress energy where they're like just taking care of themselves and the people that they need to take care of, and everything's getting taken care of while you take care of yourself in this way at this time. But wait, and this is a play on that other joke, 522, because in that other video, it was the Queen of Swords and the Emperor that came out in that same fashion. Or no, they were both upright? Okay. But so, okay. If you're too focused on the facing the fears and all that, like, conquering energy, you miss out on like the softness, right? It's like Temperance, he's peeling the potatoes, all that shit. Those potatoes are hard still. Over here she's cooking them, they're softening. They're boiling, but they're softening. So something about like temperature and, okay, like what do they say about frogs or crabs or whatever? Like you bring the heat up slowly and then whatever to like fucking kill them, cook them and kill them and cook them. I don't know, whatever the fuck. But this could also just be like a specific balancing of very intricate energies within yourself that only you would truly be able to like put name to or identify. 636. Because you know yourself best, for the most part. And maybe potentially something about you can't really have one without the other. Because if the King of Swords energy is more dry, the Empress energy is like more moistening. Okay. I love that I just kind of threw all of those cards. How? Okay. How? Okay. Life path number 11, 2. 11 and 2. 9 of coins, 2 of wands, 5 of wands, and the 7 of cups. It shouldn't matter whether you're single, you're married, you do sex work, whether it's like recreational or professional. Like, it shouldn't matter. Like, your no's are no's, your yeses are yeses. Your decisions are ultimately your decisions. And if something happens that was not foreseeable for whatever reason, from whatever standpoint for you, then you can't like blame yourself for that. You know what I mean? And so no matter where you're at, if you're just like no matter what your stance or your view is, not victim blaming, and also not overly abuser hating. Because if you focus too much on either side, there's no solution, there's no fix. Because when you can tap into those individual wires, you're able to rewire. You're able to like manipulate it in a certain way, but for like the greater good rather than for individual profit purposes. It's like being able to take that I'm a victim or I'm a survivor, and because I am, somebody else like also will be or will not be, in the terms of if somebody does something creepy to you but you actually like have that success within connecting with them and having them reflect or really understand on why that wasn't okay for you, they can decide whether it was okay for them or in which situations it would be more appropriate for. And then you have stood up for everyone just like you. Not saying stay in this situation, stay in that situation, go out of your way, go out of your way to put yourself in harm's way. That is not what I'm saying. But if you are in a safe position to do these things, then acting in these ways rather than what majority of society would react would actually make the difference. And it would catch the people who are falling, Page of Coins, who are falling like out of that system, of your system, whatever, you know, where to direct them or how to love them or accept them or guide them, even with these heavier accusations and or wrongdoings laying upon their chest. There's no fucking way. Six of Wands. Four of Swords. There's no fucking way. Like, my alarm went off. It paused the whole video. There's literally no fucking way. There's literally no fucking way. Queen of Cups. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Moving forward in your motherly instinct and intellect, regardless of gender. Like, getting more in touch with that, getting more in depth with that, getting more in tune with that. I don't know. Man, this one's gonna fucking sting. Or it's gonna sound super stupid, but women resting. And it's connected to that thing, that King of Swords, the Empress. But because I already said it, because I had already read that energy within the King of Swords and that Empress. That can only mean one thing. Is that women are the protectors in a way. Yeah, like a lot of women feel like they need a masculine, or they need this or they need that to feel safe, or that they even need to go out of their way to become stronger, or this or that. Like, there's periods of training, and that training is very important. But you see, a lot of those men can be trainers. Yeah, I like that better than a lot of those trainers can be men, actually. A lot of those men can be trainers, and it's like they need you to feel like you need them. Like, it makes them feel important and good to be protecting you or providing for you or all this or all that. But in order to be a true provider and protector, it's not about the flishy flashy, oh, they have everything they want, or even they have everything they need, because sometimes shit happens. But for the most part, in general, usually people weave together to where people don't go without. But this talks about like providing emotionally, being patient, earning respect, earning rest, and being able to have really good explanations. I didn't say the thing in the way where it would sting super hard, by the way. You're welcome. Like, you can do it. You can do it. You can definitely thrive off of a woman-run society, for sure. Balance is always key, though, so don't get too crazy with it, but do what you want. Fuck it. Make your own little society. Who gives a fuck? As long as you're not fucking anybody up purposefully, because it happens. Corrections occur. Four of Cups. You can't worry or be too fearful about like, if you let worry, like your worry of fucking people up stop you from helping people, then it counter, like, if you are accountable, there's no fuck up you could do that you couldn't, like, make more just. 511, no matter what that means or how that looks. King of Coins and Three of Swords, but Three of Swords kind of came out in reverse, but Three of Swords and the King of Coins with the Four of Cups. Hold up, what did I just say? Four of Cups with the King of Coins and the Three of Swords is again talking kind of about that doubt. That the way that you show up, that you provide, that you support wouldn't be enough, or wouldn't be appreciated or be taken for granted, in which it very well may have been. But you have to remember all of the other fucking cards that we read in which those things are like changing, and it's so like being able to heal a heartbreak that you thought would be unhealable. Possibly being able to share your spiritual experiences and your deepest, most transformative, raw, vulnerable moments with people, and not being afraid of them stomping out your fire or spitting at you or whatever the fuck it is, judging you, putting you down, not taking the time to understand, not caring, those types of things. That is all shifting. It may be very head heavy at this time, but being able to face those things, that like, yeah, there is a lot of hate, there is a lot of fear and anger running through the world, but that's not always the worst thing. So how can we use that to our power, and how can we use that to our advantage? Because there are healthy and positive methods of encouragement and support that isn't forceful, that isn't conforming to 28. And when you look at these things as inspiring rather than disgusting, the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Coins meet. Knight of Coins, planning, upholding moral standards, boundaries, values, thinking, taking time, slowing down, but also deciding on which is the best way to move forward. And the Knight of Swords, impulsivity, absolutely just bouncing straight to it, getting it done. Maybe going out of your way, but it wouldn't be considered going out of your way with the Knight of Swords. And so the balancing of these two meeting, these two collaborating within yourself. These could actually be people in your life, but remember, this is supposed to be more self-centered, self-focused, in the sense of being able to fully trust and rely on yourself and the people around you, no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, and being safe to feel and express and be however you are in that moment, in those moments, in that moment. So if this is a past event or presently happening, that balance of connecting the inner and the outer, the smaller and the bigger, all of the differences, being able to kind of like look all around and connect all around to make the best decision for yourself and be able to move forward and live with your decisions, no matter what those decisions were. You can always shine a brighter light to them, and it's easier done when when you have done something wrong. It's easier to take accountability when people see you in this higher light, or they are offering you this grace or forgiveness to because when they flip, it all flips. And if you don't take that accountability before it flips, then sometimes that is where people will be like, oh, that's karma, that's this, that's that. And then people will literally make readings about their sufferings and what's going on with them, and use them as a fucking example, a display, and a warning. And that is what we would like to try to avoid for the most part, because that can also make you vulnerable for spiritual attacks if it comes across the wrong individuals. human and not. Because humans also have like spirit teams, right? So yeah. Being able to deal with as much bullshit as you do unicorn shit, I guess. 338. Absolutely insane. Absolutely killers. 2 of coins and the 8 of cups. Coins! Fuck! God damn! At least, at the very least, this proves that I wasn't lying about the amount, the quantity of the energies flowing around and the puzzle piecing together. Yay! My alarm went off again at the perfect timing to end the video. Your closing card is I'm never gonna fucking post ever again. Lenormand Lily. Oh yeah, there was like a fucking secret message. Something about like a hired killer, hired assassin.